Hello, meta people, everybody in the meta universe. So, today we're going to talk about being a conservative and how it's not a good thing, how it can be an oxymoron, and how people, just because they put a flag on it um, and dress it as patriotism, think it's the way to go. Okay? So, if you look in the dictionary, in Webster, and I'm paraphrasing here, the definition of conservative is precisely within the word, is to conserve, to keep the status quo, to not change, to leave things the way they are. That's what the simple definition of conservative and conservating is. So somebody that is conservative is somebody that is happy with the status quo, with things as they are and things as they have been. Why is that bad? So when it comes to society, the goal of every society is to better itself, to make progress, to grow. So being a conservative totally opposes that, because what we're saying is we want to retain the status quo or regress in time, to keep things the way they are or they were. When it comes to politics, it has become ammunition against people in this country that actually want significant change and progress. Now, people that are anti LGBTQI, people that are anti abortion, people that are anti anything, you can be against those ideas, but the whole guise of I'm conservative, you're using the word wrong. If you're calling yourself a conservative because you subscribe to a certain religion or predicate a certain religion, or because you are against what you feel is the extreme left, um, because you believe in the nuclear family and you think that's the way to go, you're using the word wrong. Those are personality things, those are ideas, and technically you're either right wing, well, you're a moderate right wing, or extreme right. But we need to honestly stop using the word conservative as ammunition and defining it as something that is not. And that's what's happening nowadays in America. Now, we have a tendency as human beings to romanticize the past. And oh, those times were so much better. We should go back to that. We should go back to what the Constitution dictated, for example. Well, at one point, the Constitution was all in favor for slavery and indented servitude. Should we go back to that? Were those times better? Is that what you want to conserve? Even though the right wing has pretty much continued slavery, they even though it got abolished with the 14th Amendment, low key, with excessive incarceration and things like that, they've been able to get away with modern slavery. And obviously, a lot of the systemic racism that we have. But yeah, when you call yourself a conservative, is that really who you are? Is that really what you want? Do you honestly think that things are good the way they are right now, that the status quo it's acceptable? Do you think that past years, pre Biden, were the good times? Is that the ideas that you're trying to conserve and not touch? And are you just wrapping that around in a flag and calling yourself a straight-laced conservative? I am all for family and values. And no, you're using the word incorrectly. And if you are pro all of those things, then you're a bigger issue than you think. Because what you're trying to do is hold back a country that is trying to grow and become better, become more inclusive. They're trying to break away from that establishment and that systemic, all of the systemic issues that we suffer. I don't understand why somebody that calls themselves conservative feels threatened by LGBTQI community, for example. Because I'm not asking you to change your gender. All I'm asking you is to respect the person that chose to change their gender. I'm asking you to be a good neighbor. I'm asking you what all religions ask. Do unto others as you want done unto you. Every major religion, from Christianity to Islam to Hinduism to Buddhist, all of them follow the golden rule of do unto others as you want done unto you. So conservatives, if anything, are a negative influence in society because they want to exclude and divide and criticize and judge and manipulate and tell you who to love, who you can marry, how many children should you have. You're not a real woman if you don't have children. That's what women were invented for. And you can't, there's no way that you can feel realized as a human being if you didn't bring a child into this world. They believe in having religion in all of the areas in government, which is a big mistake. A lot of the people think we're a nation under God. We were not a nation under God, ever. The Constitution wasn't written like that. It was not meant to be interpreted under religious canon. The under God came in 1954, which is not that long ago. This is your baby boomers generation still. They decided, because of the Red Scare, because of communism, because they were trying to push a propaganda, that was their way of showing the world that we're a nation of love and Christianity and democracy and higher values. It was more because of that. It was more to deter from Russia, who historically is not a very religious nation. And that's where the whole one nation under God got added in. But that is not how it started. That was never part of the deal. The other way around. The elites, and I'm sorry if I'm bursting your bubble, but the founding fathers were elites. When they when they created this republic, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get away from the religious fanatism that created so much bloodshed in Europe. That was a piece of it. And they wanted to create a republic where people could actually predicate and practice whatever ideals and religion and moral fit them without persecution, without being censored or anything like that. And they actually were striving for the elites to rule the country. It was never for the layman to be the one governing. They wanted highly educated white men to rule and govern the republic. That was the expectations. They just didn't realize that when you set a set of rules, a creed, a constitution, eventually civilization is going to pick up on it, and it's going to hold you to account, and it's going to demand those rights. And that's why you had people like Jefferson that at one point wanted to grab all of the African slaves and send them to South America, or back to Africa. He said, well, they'll be happy going back home. And it is so sad because the white establishment, the conservative establishment, is so terrified of their own sins. This is where the whole replacement theory plays into. And that's why they hate critical race theory, and they hate mentioning systemic racism, because the minute they admit to that, then they have to ask themselves, what's going to happen to us? Because they have committed such atrocities against minorities that they think the minorities are going to take revenge and are going to do the exact same thing to them. That's why it scares them so much. That's why the left scares them so much. That's why progress scares them so much. That's why independents and libertarians scare them so much. Because they love capitalism, they love wealth, they love their status, and they're not willing to give that up. And they think that if minorities ever have or realize their power, they're gonna seek revenge against them. And in all honesty, it's kind of ridiculous, because historically minorities are the other way around. If you look at, for example, the Japanese community, we had concentration camps in the United States, people. The United States government rounded up Japanese American citizens descendant with Japanese descent, riled them up, got them all out of their businesses, homes, and everything, and put them in internment camps. You never hear them seeking revenge. The other way around, they are very private and silent of those struggles. And we don't teach it in history, because remember, can't do that. Can't make the white people feel guilty. That's not, that's a no, not good. Same thing with the blacks. Like, they have always strived to better themselves and better others. That's why you see so many of these activists and coalitions wind up intertwining and helping each other, because they understand there's power in numbers, and it's about raising everybody and not leaving anybody behind. And the conservative movement is not about that. So please, if you're watching this video and you consider yourself a conservative, think it through. What is it that you really want in your country? What is it what you subscribe for? Are you okay with the status quo right now? Do you think this country needs to regress to the 1940s and the 1950s? Or are you more trying to defend your ideology, your religion, your own freedom of expression? That's the question, in all honesty. So anyhow, that was my little video of the day. I hope everybody is enjoying the beautiful weather. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.